Buckingham Palace has been the seat of the monarchy ever since Queen Victoria came to the throne, including all 69 years of Queen Elizabeth II's reign. While the Queen has been shielding at Windsor Castle during the pandemic, it is believed that the plan is for her to eventually return to Buckingham Palace, at least on a part-time basis. However, it has been called into question whether Charles will move from Clarence House to Buckingham Palace when he becomes king. He and Camilla have used Clarence House as their official residence since the Queen Mother died in 2002, but split their time between the Westminster residence and Highgrove House in Gloucestershire. Pod Save the Queen is hosted by Anne Gripper and features Daily Mirror royal editor Russell Myers. Mr. Myers questioned whether Charles and Camilla will actually move from Clarence House to Buckingham Palace or indeed whether Prince William and his family will uproot themselves and move from Kensington Palace to Clarence House. He said, "Whether Charles actually goes to live in Buckingham Palace. Will he stay in Clarence House? Certainly William doesn't necessarily then want to upheave all his family to go and live in Clarence House. So I think it will look very, very different to how it looks now." Mr. Myers and Ms. Gripper were discussing Charles's new plans to open up the royal palaces to the public and make them more accessible. The Prince of Wales wants to have more palaces open and for longer, as currently only Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle can be visited and only for limited periods in the year. Mr. Myers said this was a great idea, especially if Charles is not even living at Buckingham Palace. He said, "If Buckingham Palace, large parts of it, it is a working palace anyway, isn't it? But if there are large parts of it that don't need to be used for residential purposes, then of course the argument is, we've already paid £360 million to do it up over this 10-year programme of renovation, well they need to try and claw some of that money back. So yeah, it's a great idea and, just from a PR perspective, it's great. Like you said, it doesn't then necessarily have to mean that we're in these shiny new palaces and all you plebs are outside it." Ms. Gripper noted that it definitely helps to counter criticisms that huge amounts of public money are being spent on maintaining and renovating royal palaces, but they are not accessible to the people paying for it, in other words the taxpayer. It can also help earn some money for the royal family's coffers to help pay for some of that maintenance and renovation directly. Mr. Myers emphasized that people want to see the Buckingham Palace gardens and the plans would allow for people to be able to go and picnic there. The garden parties have allowed a select few to be able to see it over the years, but these plans would widen that net greatly. He also said that extra palaces are expected to be open to the public and that preparation work is already underway at places such as Balmoral Castle, Sandringham House and even Charles's home in Highgrove. Currently, the Queen likes to spend her summer holidays at Balmoral, but Charles may not want to, leaving that residence empty and so able to be viewed by the public in the summer. Meanwhile, Charles is likely keen to share the organic farming methods at play at Highgrove. Mr. Myers branded the plans a game-changer in terms of public access. He also said that Charles is in discussions with other members of the family, especially Camilla, William and Kate, who will all have a say, because their homes or where they choose to spend their holidays may be affected. Ms. Gripper said this is something to look forward to but said she felt it was unlikely to happen during the Queen's reign, because she may not want such major changes while she is still at Buckingham Palace. On the other hand, Mr. Myers said he doubted whether she will even return full-time, saying he thinks she is more likely to split her time between Windsor Castle, where she is clearly very comfortable, and Buckingham Palace to fulfill her official duties.